Welcome everyone to another episode of Tappertalks. My name is Ryan Tapper and I have Sasha Small with me. Welcome to another episode of Tappertalks on the beach. Just have to say to all my friends in the States, I don't want anyone to feel jealous because our office is on the beach. You too can come down to Jamaica and we can do this together, okay? So right now I'm gonna go to my friend Sasha here and we're gonna be discussing several topics. It's funny because when we started the program, I always knew we would someday get into current events, and Sasha here is my motivation. So Sasha was here on the beach enjoying a swim. She came up and we just started talking, and Sasha was talking about some current events, and we just got into the whole Will Smith debacle. Is it a debacle, Sasha? An incident? All right, Sasha, don't be shy. Speak up. Let everybody there hear you. So you called it an incident?
I would definitely call it an incident. It was kind of, incidents usually happen surprisingly, and I think everybody was surprised at what happened, especially where it took place. So I would definitely categorize as an incident.
This is why I value Sasha so much. You know, little does she know it, but she's kind of a professional at issues, in my view, because I've spoken to her and she's so insightful the way she thinks and her opinions on these matters. Now, as I was saying to Sasha, being on the beach and there's a huge truck coming down, so we're gonna pause a little bit until it goes away. But being on the beach, we don't do anything too heavy, right? Because Sasha is having fun. It's a beautiful day. You know, our office is filled with fun activities to do. But I said, you know what? I have to talk to Sasha because she has great insight into the whole incident that happened with Will Smith and Chris. So Sasha, give me a quick synopsis of what you think this incident is all about. So you saw what went down. What do you think about it? And the sound you're hearing now, this is not the trucks, it's the smoothie machine on the beach. So you're gonna hear a little bit of the smoothie action every now and then. So go ahead, Sasha, tell us what is your perspective on this Will Smith debacle? Oh, incident.
I mean, of course, I do not promote violence. I definitely do not. But at the same time, I feel like it's certain instances where you have to, step up and show yourself. And for me, I think it's kind of like a reflection of social media where people are behind keyboard and say slick comments to you in the comment section, knowing you're never going to meet them in person. And I think Chris Rock, because he's a comedian, he hide behind that title to say that slick comments to Jada. Mind you, Jada was not nobody. She was just a guest at the ceremony. She was nobody. Granted, Will did initially laugh, but I think for him, once he saw how it affected her, he stepped as a man and he approached her how he felt necessary. It might not have had to be a slap, but Chris pulled the back end of everything that's going on. Also, keep in mind, Laverne Cox had said something very, I would say, derogatory in reference to that entanglement situation. So I feel like that was just the back end of everything that was going on. So I'm not mad at Will for slapping Chris Rock. I felt the joke was a little dry and unwarranted at that time, and yeah, get what you put out.
And folks, this is why she's here. You know, very insightful. And from a male perspective, I just felt that a man should never you know, number one, resort to violence, especially if it's words. And if I weigh Chris Rock's comments, to me it was lighthearted. Even he said so when when he made the joke, he said, "Come on,
It was lighthearted, but it was dry.
It's
It wasn't
nothing.
that funny.
You know, it wasn't funny. It wasn't that fun. It wasn't funny, and it wasn't, to me, it wasn't hurtful. And I think that's the key.
It wasn't, but I also think we got to keep in mind that they do have a history of him saying, you know, shady comments to Jada. And I just felt like Will just was not having it tonight. And he just caught the back end of everything that's been going on. We have been making memes about Will for a year and a half. We've been using the word entanglement, a word we never even cared about from the dictionary before, because Jada brought it up. And then I felt like, I don't know, that joke for me was just not in. I'm sorry. And also, let me know that Chris Rock did make a documentary about black women hair. So for him to make a comment in regards to black women hair and her losing it, he was not reading the room as he usually does. Because he tends to go in them areas with white people and he gets so dry with his comedy. It's just like, bro, read the room, please. Especially being that you made a documentary about black women hair, and here is Jada Smith losing her hair as a black woman, and you going to make that as a joke in a room full of white people. I just did not like that. I'm sorry.
Well, folks, this is why I love Sasha being here so much. Perspectives, because as a black male, I never read all of these issues into it, and she has valid points. You know, I mean, Chris has been saying things, but he's a comedian though. But words have power.
Yes, they do. And I think that was indicative of, like, a lot of times people on social media, they get behind keyboards and screenings and little pictures that's not theirs, and they say a lot of foul stuff to people in the comment section, and they try to have a viral moment continuously. And here it is, it happened in person and someone got smacked. Granted, I do not promote violence at all, especially for black men. But you know what? Sometimes people come for the throat.
And folks, we interject with black men, and we mention white folks, not to highlight anything other than the fact of culture. You know, as Sasha said, Chris Rock made a documentary about black women's hair, and in that context, he understands the weight that hair carries with women in general, and especially the black community. So as a black man, when I saw what unfolded, I couldn't unpack all these different issues because frankly I was not thinking about these issues. And it's so great to have a perspective, a fresh perspective, and then an insertive perspective on how females see what happened, right?
I mean, also, I feel like a lot of women, like, keep in mind, we also have this movement of, like, protect black women. Continuously going on for a little while. And I think for a lot of women, they see it as a black man protecting a black woman. And you know what? It's a pleasure to see, because a lot of times we do not get appreciated or protected. And for once, it was supposed to have to be against another black man, which I did not like. But he stepped up and protected her, as a man should, and also as a husband should. I encourage it. Of course, once again, I like to reiterate, I do not promote violence, especially between two black men of that stature. But sometimes it goes down.
Yeah. It was an unfortunate moment. I think Chris Rock deserves an Oscar for his performance after getting slapped. He handled it like a champ. Now let's take the reasons, all that off the table. Let's take, we have a prestigious award show, a business which a lot of people have invested a lot of money, and they entrusted Chris Rock with this role as the the mediator for the night. Not a mediator, but
He's like a guest speaker.
He's the
gave a little dialogue.
Okay, right. For him to handle the brand the way he did from a business perspective, he took a slap that maybe 90% of men would not. The Bible says turn the other cheek, and he performed in biblical proportions, because he did not react in a violent way. He didn't even react in an angry way. He basically said, Will Smith smacked
would it be as looked down upon if it wasn't such a prestigious quote-unquote white event? Like, would this be looked upon if this was done at the BT Awards? Because I feel like that's where a lot of people is angry, because they feel like, oh, we're around a certain amount of a certain class of people, we should act a certain way. So I feel like that's where everybody feels so mad about, they're so upset, they're so up in arms, and they're so irritated. And even after Will issued an apology immediately.
I'm gonna check her there, folks. She's more into current events than I am, but I know a little something.
Immediately, but the apology was
no. So hold on. So immediately, Will Smith made an apology to the Academy. He did not. He did no. So here's the deal. Here's the deal, folks. We got to keep it real, okay? So the fact that he did that, the fact that he issued an apology to the Academy and the sun, the moon, the stars, and did not apologize to Chris Rock immediately, that means to me that the apology was not genuine.
Really? Maybe he just didn't feel sorry in that moment, but after he thought it over and looked back, because a lot of times, sometimes you don't feel remorse immediately. It's more so we gotta think of our actions and then like, oh, okay, wait a minute, maybe that wasn't the right thing I done.
You know what it feels like to me? It feels like the pressure came.
I wouldn't say necessarily pressure, because Will is at a level in his career where he's pulling money from movies. He pulls people in. I feel like you can't really deny his talent. He's a great actor.
True.
And I think the Oscars solidified that that night. So I don't think it was more so pressure. And the fact that he removed himself from the Academy showed me he's not bothered.
I think so. There's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that, I don't have a crystal ball, neither does Sasha, to see what happened. But I believe he got so much pressure on him that he had to, because number one, I think they could have revoked the Oscar. I don't know. They're still quote unquote investigating it, so who knows what's gonna happen. But I think a lot of pressure came to bear. Remember, Will Smith may have money, but the Academy, all the producers, there's money and then there's power, right? Will Smith may have money, but he doesn't have the power as a layman would think, because Hollywood executives, etc., there are a lot of things behind it, a lot of people behind. So I think yeah, we're good. I think he got a lot of pressure that came to bear, and he had to change his tune.
For me, well, I agree with that to a certain extent, but I feel like Will is at the point where he don't necessarily need to be acting. He can be behind the camera producing stuff, producing the material. Let's keep in mind, he just produced Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the reenactment for a streaming service, and it's a success. So it's not like he don't necessarily need to be in movies anymore. Not like, well, honestly, at this age, you can overdo your stunts.
Right.
You need to go ahead and
enjoy it.
You go ahead, like,
true.
You can do one movie every now and then, but 3 movies a year is kind of ridiculous.
I think when people attain a certain level of success, pride, a lot of things, ambition. Look, Will Smith's you can't take anything away from Will. He's a very, very, very accomplished. I mean, he's in the top, top tier of actors, in all genres, right? So, I mean, he has a certain level of, and he wants a legacy too, So I think pressure was a part of it, but I do believe in what you're saying though, that he obviously he's not an idiot. I'm sure he thought about it. And here's the thing: he who has no sin cast the first stone, right? So we still have to bear in mind that people are going to make mistakes. I mean, he didn't. I mean, he slapped someone. He didn't. I mean, you have people who molest folks who have done heinous crimes, killed people, and still gained redemption. So we shouldn't be so quick to crucify him.
And piggybacking off the fact that you said his legacy, I don't feel like this should be what we remember Will Smith as. He's a great actor. He's a great influencer, especially in the African American community. And overall, I feel like Will is just a great person. I feel like Will has always been upbeat, fun-loving, positive. It's been a lot of instances where he could have reacted, insanely. Even in his speech, he addressed it, where he said a lot of times they're supposed to put a smile on and put on a face just to, appease the general public. I think he's had a moment, and I don't feel like we should overshadow that. Also, I do want to say there has been a lot of white celebrities that's come out that's given a perspective, almost like they're kind of like speaking down on Will. I even seen,
for example, give an example,
for example, that recent guy, not Mel Gibson, it's the other guy, he actually killed someone on the set with a fake gun. He came out and said something which is kind of off the wall, because you killed somebody. You're talking about a slap. Right now, slow pedal over there, and you killed somebody, and you're literally saying you're traumatized by someone having a human reaction to someone disrespecting their family, and you're speaking about a slap when you literally killed someone. Like, that was kind of just out of bounds. There's a lot of people coming out saying they're traumatized, they're overwhelmed, and they're scarred, and they got to go to therapy over a slap, y'all. Come on.
You know what? I have to agree with Sasha on that, because if you're traumatized by that, the current state of America and the world, with all the violence, yes, slapping is violence, but when you talk about heinous crimes, I mean, I for one, I don't enjoy watching the news, but a slap isn't gonna traumatize me. But I mean, some folks are more sensitive than others, and I understand that.
Some people are sensitive, but some of them are acting like they grew up Amish or something, or they grew up on the rock. Things happen, and also y'all also gotta be mindful. We want to put it in a biblical perspective. A lot of times when you get to new levels, there's always a new devil trying to pull you down. And I think for Will, he kind of failed the test a little bit because he did fall prey to the devil that they presented, which was Chris Rock with that heinous joke. And you know what? He just got to take this in stride and keep pushing. I wish Will the best. I love Will. I actually love, I feel like his family don't, they don't subscribe to a typical black family, so it does come off weird. But I don't mind it. We're in an age where everything is different, everything's not going to be the same, everybody's not going to subscribe to the same belief and acts and everything going on. You can just do what's best for you and your family, and I feel like that's how he operates, and that is nothing to be mad about, nothing to be even embarrassed about. It just is what it is. He had a moment, and I feel like in that moment it's really they're taking it into one moment and literally trying to overshadow everything he's done prior to, which is what kind of blows me. Of course, I don't condone the violence, but of course you can't make one little moment define a man that he has been doing. Come on now.
So I understand what you're saying. The thing is, whether you believe it's sincere or not, Will has apologized more than once. Who are we to not allow someone the room, the space to apologize and seek redemption, right? And as Sasha said, from a biblical perspective, I mean, he deserves a chance. We're not the true judge. Will be judged like all of us, in a biblical perspective. So you know, I think we can leave it there on the way with Jada. But I want to get back to Sasha because we started this interview just going right into Sasha's thoughts on current events and on a current event. Sasha was born in Seaview Gardens, Jamaica. She's here on vacation. As a matter of fact, she missed her flight.
I did miss my flight there. It has been a lot of cancellation. I don't know what's going on. They were saying something to extent like there's something going on in Miami. I'm not sure. I don't mind everything.
So here's the thing. This is Tappertalks on the beach, right? So we're gonna lighten it up a little bit and give you guys an insight of my friend Sasha here. She's here on vacation. She's left the island for some time. So Sasha, give us a little synopsis into your life. You were born in Jamaica, but you left Jamaica years ago. How many years ago did you leave Jamaica?
I left Jamaica 19 years ago. When I left, I was kind of a kid. I was literally in basic school, as they call it. I was in the 5th grade. Once I got to the States, I got put into the 6th grade, and from there I've been there ever since. I do, you know, go back and forth to here and America when I get the chance, but prior to the pandemic, the last time I visited was 2019, and yeah, this is my first time being back since then, so I'm excited. I was super excited to come back. You know, the place looks a little different, some stuff was developed, so that's nice.
And you mentioned that you have some family here still, and you have about a 50-50 in the States. Now, go ahead.
Yeah, so pretty much my family is kind of like all over. I do have like 50% in America, 50% here. Like for example, my sister lives in Montego Bay here, and like my mother's side lives in Kingston, so I'll go back to some of my family here. But I mean, it's pretty much 50-50. I have a big family, so yeah, they're all spread out.
Now, what are some of the things you miss about Jamaica when you're in the States? What are some of the things that you really miss about it?
I think, of course, the main thing for me is like the food, the weather, and I think also the like the people are like incomparable. Although they are Jamaicans in America, I think they kind of subscribe to like the American thing people doing stuff, so they're not really authentic in that sense. But for me, mostly it's like the food, the people, and just like the weather, almost like
People, weather. I hear that a lot. I feel the same. I feel the same. Now, your family. How you're the oldest of?
Yes, I'm the oldest of 4. My mother has 2 boys, 2 girls. My sister 2 apart. My brother 2 apart. So it's kind of like me and my sisters always together. My sister lives here because she goes to law school down here, and my 2 brothers are in America.
If there's one thing that you could change about Jamaica, what would it be?
For me, I think it would just be the overall culture of Jamaica, kind of just like, you know, I remember when I came previously, someone told me that they got paid like $2 million for the Montego Bay sign at the airport. I kept thinking for a second, there's like other things I could like invest in that money. So I always think it's like politically, like not being so corrupt, and you don't have an ownership. Like the fact that Jamaica have their own airline to me is kind of crazy. It's like really crazy to me. Like,
So you'd love to see Air Jamaica back in the sky?
I would like to see ownership and like actual people that's like Jamaicans
Owning stuff. Okay. That is huge. That is huge. I know there's a big push for investments in certain areas where folks can invest money in certain funds that are involved in developing the country.
Yeah, but I think it's always outside sources or outside the country, but then in turn, a lot of them own something here. It's never gonna, you know, trickle down back to Jamaica ownership. So that's something I really work on, moving forward. Yeah.
Okay, and there's one thing that Sasha is pursuing, and you know, this is something that's near to my heart because my wife's in this profession. So tell us a little bit about your goals in terms of your career.
So in terms of goals, ideally I would love to be a registered nurse. I love taking care of people. Like I said, I'm the most of course. I always assume that position of taking care of everybody else. And, you know, I just feel like nursing is just like a caring field. It's a delicate field, but it's also a beneficial field, and it's also like a very prosperous field. So it's like growing every day. We're always gonna need nurses, take care of people, and we're always gonna need, you know, hospitals. And that's what nurses usually are.
And there's usually an abundance of jobs for nurses. You hardly see a nurse out of a job.
Yeah.
You know, hospitals are going after nurses, so that's huge. All right, so we've learned so much about Sasha. I would love for Sasha to do this with me, you know, this current events. I mean, she's awesome. I know a lot of people out there would love to know also, what is your status, Sasha, in terms of your personal relationship? Do you have a young man, or how, you know, because there are a lot of young guys watching.
Right now, I'm just focused on just working and focus on school right now. Because currently, I do work in the United States Postal Service, so I'm like busy. So I'm like, you know, I did take time to come out here, so once I get back, I'm just focused on my job right now. I'm just getting in a position where I feel confident, and I feel like that's where God is. And so I'm just focused on that. And I think what's going on in terms of my goals and everything I aspire to be and everything I see, you know, in my vision and everything that God has for me.
Okay, and not a large part of Tappertalks and the inspiration for Tappertalks is also from a biblical perspective. Because if you read my bio, about me, I really, my whole being is dedicated to what God called me. You know, how much of a role would you say in your life does God play in your life?
For me, he plays like the biggest role because for me, I always say put God first and everything else follows. So he plays the main role in everything I do. I don't know how to put it into words. He just plays a major role. Like even if I come in from going outside, I'm saying praise when I get home to myself because of me and everything I do, and I'm always grateful to him for providing me, you know, the help and strength and what I do every day and live so much help and strength, you know.
It's funny. A lot of young people need to hear these things because I think a lot of young people are lost. It's like they don't have a foundation to understand that without God as your foundation, what are you going to stand on?
I think also like social media plays a lot of factors because they see like, you know, a lot of misconceptions, a lot of on quick social media, and they see like people that they felt like a man or like, you know, they're doing better or they are better than the average person, or they make it seem like everything is just being done just by them waking up and doing it and not, you know, giving God the glory, not letting it be known that, you know what, none of this is possible without God, and you know, following has to, you know, so a lot of it has to do with social media. It's like a social media era, so it gets kind of confusing. And you also got to keep in mind, a lot of people have like, you know, strong figures in their life, you know.
I know for me, like my grandparents, you know, my parents, especially my mom, you know, played that role in my life to kind of expose me to God and what that whole thing means, you know, what it means to be a force for good. You know? And I think that message needs to go out there.
Yeah.
So this is Tappertalks on the beach, but we know what's up. We know who.
So it comes back to.
There you go. We know who the creator is. We know why we're here.